I guess you could say the beginnings of a kind of a modified thermal A-frame. Alright, it's kind of what we ended up with. The mylar, I really wouldn't want to put too much more snow on it without some serious bow cutting just for supporting the mylar. You know, it's pretty fragile. But we got a little more sun, but it's way late in the day now, and our sun's going to start dropping quick. It'll be kind of interesting in the morning when that early sun comes through to see how it fares. Ended up having to use two mylars. One is not quite long enough. Well, one's plenty long enough to go end to end, but you have no side coverage with it when done like this. I mean, there's a million ways to set one of these up, but this is what I ended up with. It's pretty tight, but I don't know if the camera will do this or not. Well, what's kind of interesting is looking through the mylar. See, I wonder now, you know, maybe I should have flipped it over, but it's pretty hard to tell which side is which. But anyway, be interesting to see what kind of solar heat comes through. Plenty long enough, tight enough. I'll throw my pack across the front and maybe just a couple of bows to kind of seal off that door for tonight. But the wind should come from the tail end down there, so we should be pretty good to go. Alright, let's get some other stuff going. Oh, and this took about an hour and 15 minutes. Cut the logs, put them all together, rig up the snow, and anyway, enjoy. Fire lays and fire prep. I think this will be my last one I have to do for that intermediate series. We're going to turn this into a log cabin fire. Alright, see you back in a few. Yeah, first split's done. You gotta love friggin' standing aspen. I mean, it is one of the, for what we have in Northern Rockies, you know, it's one of the best splitting woods we have around. Especially you can get it standing dead. Man, that was like 10 minutes to split through all that. Alright, I think that's about enough prep. Let's get her going. I think that's working. There's my log cabin fire. And my reflector backwards, which we're going to have to defer to Mr. Black, see what he thinks. Driving two on each end for 4 stakes in the ground in this country, especially in this weather. It ain't going to happen. So, as you can see, what I did is I tripoded it. Just cut my logs and laid them backwards. Another cool thing with that is I've used this method before, and we used it to dry a bunch of wet logs. You can see I pulled these all out of the snow. And the reason I built this fire, because you got to state the reason. Well, eventually I'm going to turn this to a long fire for tonight. But actually it's just a fun one to do, and I'm going to finish my reflector back. I'm going to put me a arm coming across for holding my cook pot, get some snow melting, and get some chow ready. It's kind of one of those oddball things I've always wanted to try. I don't know who I saw do it. So if it's your idea, speak up so I can make sure I get you credit for it. This is a piece of a mylar blanket. Just cut off. I wadded it up. Just kind of hold it in place. I saw this thing get lit. With a fire steel. Ha! Stay put. It's worth a shot. Let's see. Huh, interesting. I can't make it do it. He is really digging in there. Burning lots of holes in it. Well, if you did it, show me how you do it. Just try it one more different way. Well, if you hit it with a direct flame on a Bic lighter, it's taken right off. Huh, interesting. I don't know if it's worth it or not as a source of tinder. Globs down pretty good. Guess the material burns hot enough to get this going. I'm pretty sure I could probably just about do the same thing with a lighter as dry as this is. Interesting. Anyway, if you know more about that, let me know. This has been a pretty fun project too. Just finally finished it up. I carved it out last trip. And then just an aspen spoon, and finally got the bowl burned in. Still a little hot. Scrape it out. It ended up longer than what I wanted because, well, I don't have my tripod with me, but I'm holding everything with my hand this trip. Bear with me. But that's the curve of the tracker knife for that front edge as far as getting it dug out. So, fun project. I think it's done. Use it for supper tonight. And then the back hole here, you can kind of see it's charred in. Actually, we bow drilled that. So, anyway, time to get her finished. Well, we had to take our reflector down. We just lost two most lowest bottom logs, however you want to say that. Anyway, they kind of spontaneously took off on their own again. So, no more reflector. Anyway, that just give us a ton more wood for the night. Kind of piled it all up there. Still got our tripod up. So it seems to be doing good. But anyway, nice and toasty. Almost too toasty now. This has definitely got to burn back some. Originally started it out, one good step away from my sitting log here, and well, we're about 3 steps away and still pretty toasty. Anyway, it's still early, so